Hi, everybody. This is Takeshi and then Kasia-san. We are Shushoku Cafe. We are talking about the jobs opportunities in here in US. And today we have a special guest talking about the jet. And we have Jessica from US Jet. And we have Carlos from Quick USA. He is a Jet alumni as well. So we will talk about before the Jet today, and then let's see why they apply for that and how they prepare for that. So let's dig in for the details. So before starting that, can I ask who you are a little bit for Jessica-san first?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Livingston, and I was a Jet kind of a long time ago now in the early 2000s up in Hokkaido. And now I am the executive director for US Jet AA, which is a national nonprofit. And our whole mission and reason for existing is to support Jets and Jet alumni.
All right, thank you. How about you, Carlos?
Hi, everyone. My name is Carlos Medina. I was a Jet from 2019 to 2022 in the Oita Prefecture, and I'm currently an assistant recruiter slash sales slash project assistant for Quick USA. And it's nice to meet everyone.
All right, nice meeting you. So let's begin for some questions. So first question, what I want to ask is, we often have the question like, what is the differences between JET and other study abroad or any applying for the job in US directly? So can you tell us what's the differences then, Jessica?
Yeah, so I did both. I did study abroad, and I also did the JET program, obviously. And I think a lot of people equate the two. They think, oh, the JET program is sort of, because it has an E in there, which stands for exchange, right? It's the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. And then you think of study abroad as also an educational exchange program. But boy, they're really different. When you're a study abroad student, you are for sure 100% in Japan, and you're interacting all day long with your fellow students and faculty at your school. But you're really a community member of your campus or of the school that you're going to. So you might be surrounded with, by other international students. And depending on your program, the accessibility that you have to Japanese students and Japanese society might be extensive, or it might be really limited depending on what your program is or whether or not you've done a homestay. But the JET program is not a school program. It's a professional program. So you have a job, you're getting a salary, you are living in your own accommodations, you're paying for your own utilities and your bills and your rent and your food, you're doing your own grocery shopping, you're doing your own banking, you're an actual grown-up, and you're a part of the Japanese professional workforce. So I think those are the two, if we were going to just outline it, those are the two major differences. Carlos, what do you think?
Oh, I totally agree with you, Jessica. I mean, as someone who also did study abroad a couple of times, as well as the JET program, the JET program offers a different level of immersion, I guess, if you want to say, compared to your study abroad experience. And as somebody who has a passion for the Japanese culture in Japan, I felt that I would love to join the program in order to immerse myself with my local community wherever it was that I was placed. And honestly, like Jessica mentioned, you're a full-on adult. You're adulting while you work in this program, and then you get to be a nice cultural bridge between cultures between Japan and the United States. So yeah, definitely, it was a great experience. Yes.
Yeah, I felt like I had a lot more touch points with everyday Japan when I was there on the JET program. I was working with students, and then I had my coworkers and my colleagues that I interacted with, and then I had my friends that I was hanging out with too, right? So it was just it was a different immersive experience.
Okay, I think that is a great it's not only for the professional job, you can get paid as well, but everything was you have the support, right, for the visa, bank, how to find houses. I think Kasia-san, you were in Japan as well, but you were not through that, having those support for the visa, everything it's a huge differences, right?
So I did the MEXT program, the Bumbu Kagakusho program, which they similarly helped you a little bit with that, but I believe that because the programs are so different, the JET program has been around for so long. It is so developed. It is applicable to people not just in the US, but other countries as well. So the JET program is, and actually this will lead me to my next question to the two of you, but the JET program is so popular. It is so competitive. How did you handle the application process? How did that look like? Was it really as scary as some people make it sound, or is it really doable if you put the work in and pay attention to the questions? Let us know. Maybe we'll start with Carlos at this point.
Definitely. Thank you, Kasia. So yeah, I mean, the process itself is a long one. Definitely from filling out the application to writing your statement of purpose and then all the visa related stuff. But it's definitely doable. Just gotta make sure to follow each point that's stated out there follow it in order, and then just get the stuff done in order and neatly in order to be able to apply. It's definitely doable. I know I was very nervous, but I did contact a couple of advisors regarding that, people who had previously joined the JET program or had experience doing so regarding the process itself, and I found out that it was a pretty helpful thing to do. So it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I think it is a competitive program, which is great when you get in because you're part of the club, right? There's about a 25 to 30% acceptance rate, so that kind of gives you some data to go with. The application itself is similar to a university application. So if you got into college, you know how to fill this out. It's step by step. And just like the Japanese culture is very detail oriented, you need to be detail oriented for this application as well. Follow all the instructions. They're very clearly laid out. You just have to do it piece by piece. But because it's a hefty application, like a college application, you don't want to wait until the last minute. This is not something you're pulling together in like 3 days. You want to start on it before that. So you want to, think about your statement of purpose. You're going to have 2 letters of recommendations. Think about who you want to write those recommendations. And, if you're really proactive, give those people a list of why you would be the perfect JET participant. Make it easy for them to write an excellent letter of recommendation for you. Give them those reasons. And your statement of purpose gets weighed really heavily as well. That's, one of the only parts of your application packet that is very personal. And you can really convey why it is you want to be on the JET program. And if you think about the JET program, for sure, you're going to gain a lot from it. But the purpose of you being there isn't just for you to go to Japan and have a wonderful experience, but it's also for your community in Japan, so your host community. So you want to think about both of those things when you're putting together your statement and putting together your application. Why is it that you want to go? What can you bring to your potential community there? What passions and hobbies that do you have that you can share with your community that might serve as a cultural bridge while you're there? How can you integrate those into the classroom if you're going to be an ALT? So thinking about, again, it's that E, the word exchange. How can you facilitate exchange between your home country and Japan?
So it's definitely not impossible. It's something that is a great, next life experience for most people. So you have to take it seriously. But also, I always want to say and tell people it's never impossible to go after your dreams. If your dream is to represent your local area, your state, your country, and also use that experience to learn about Japan and grow yourself as a human, I say go for it. So tell us, because I'm also really interested in, once you got accepted, how does the process of preparation look? Are you leaving like the next month? Do you have to do anything in particular? Let us know a little bit more. And maybe Jessica, you can start with this one.
Yeah, sure. So you'll go through the whole, you'll submit your application. And that usually, the deadline for that is usually sometime around Thanksgiving. And the applications usually go live sometime around the beginning of September. So you have some time in there. It's all online. So you create an account, you do your application, you send it in. If you are invited for an interview, that usually happens sometime in February. And then it'll be usually around April or so when they will let you know whether you've been successfully admitted into the program or not. And then from there, it seems like life is at 100 miles an hour just because you're getting ready to go. But people don't, you don't leave for Japan on the JET program until the end of July or beginning of August. So you have several months to get ready. And there's a lot of actual hand holding that happens. So you're not doing your visa. You're not finding your own place to live. You're not doing any of that. There's so many support structures in place to assist with all of that. It's a Japanese government program, and so you have Japanese government support. So you've got people that are kind of doing all those preparations for you. Once you find out where you're going to be placed in Japan, then eventually you'll be in touch with, they call it your contracting organization, but the community that you're going to be working for. They'll put you in touch with your contracting organization, and oftentimes your predecessor. So the person who's doing your job while you're waiting to go. So that's where a lot of the information exchange happens. So the preparation part is really, it's facilitated, and there's a lot of connective sort of tissue there to help you learn more. But some of the things that you can do is, like, if you don't know Japanese, you can start learning Japanese, right? Like, you don't have to know Japanese to go in the JET program or be accepted, but boy, is it helpful when you get there. So, learning about the culture and learning as much of the language as you can before you go is super helpful. Carlos, what did you do to get ready to go?
Well, after I was actually selected for early departures, which is another option, and I ended up actually leaving for Japan in late April. So I started working for my contract organization in mid-May. So what I did when I got the notice, I actually had just a couple of months to get ready. So not a lot of hand holding going on there, to be honest. But I was able to get everything. I was able to get in contact with my contracting organization just to kind of be 100% sure where I was going to be living, the address, so I can do a little bit of I did a little bit of research regarding the local area that I was going to, just to kind of know where everything was before I got there. And another important point is, once I knew my placement, I actually seeked out the local JET community within that prefecture, because all prefectures have like a prefectural group either through Discord, Facebook, or whatever, and they help each other out. They use that for like event invites and stuff like that. So as a form of networking, I reached out to that community. I had them add me to their group, and then I started getting in contact with those other JETs around the prefecture. That's another important thing that I think it should be done.
Wow.
Nice.
It's a lot. It's wonderful. I think we have a lot more to say about the JET and how to prepare for that. But now time is coming. So I think, Jessica-san, if everybody's interested, there's a different way to get the information. All of the Japanese consulate, they have a JET coordinator in there, and at the website of the US JET, there's a tons of information, and there's some seminar, online seminar, some videos in there as well. And also, I think there's 17 JET alumni chapter around the US. So you can Google in there, you can find in there, you can meet for somebody in person as well who was a JET alumni, and then ask them their experience, and then ask them for help for the application as well. So
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, we're so welcome. Yeah, there is, where you submit your application to is going to be the Embassy of Japan, and that's kind of the hub for when you're applying to the JET program. But there are, I think, 17 different consulates that are located around the United States, and each one of those has a point person, like a tantosha, that's in charge of the JET program for that region. So your starting point is going to be the Embassy of Japan, but wherever you select to do your interview and depart for the JET program, that's going to be your point of contact throughout the process of throughout your preparation process.
All right, perfect. So I'm very excited who's going to be signed up for JET for next year. And then thank you so much for your time today, talking about the JET. And let's talk about the next topic and next sessions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.